In the silent corridors of the soul's journey, there exists a mysterious threshold, a liminal space where some souls choose to linger, suspended between worlds, uncertain of their next step. The ancient wisdom and the readings of Edgar Cayce reveal that this state is not mere chance, but a profound reflection of unresolved karma, collective lessons from Atlantis, and the delicate balance of free will and spiritual growth. Within the Akashic records lies the story of these souls, those who seek clarity, healing, and reconciliation before re-entering the physical plane. As we unravel this enigma, we discover that the soul's pause is a sacred moment of preparation, a necessary pause in the cosmic dance of evolution, where the deepest mysteries of the spirit are quietly unfolding. In the silent depths of the soul's eternal voyage, there exists a sacred mystery, a question as old as time itself. Why do certain souls choose to remain in the liminal space, suspended between worlds, neither fully in the realm of the living, nor completely return to the divine source? This enigma, veiled in the fabric of spiritual evolution, invites us to peer beyond the physical veil and into the subtle currents of the soul's journey. The readings of Edgar Cayce, those sacred keys etched into the Akashic records, reveal profound truths that illuminate this phenomenon with gentle clarity. To understand why some souls linger in the threshold, the space between incarnation and eternity, we must first consider the nature of the soul's purpose and the intricate dance of karma and spiritual growth. As Cayce often emphasized, the soul does not journey aimlessly through the cycles of rebirth. Each incarnation is a carefully woven thread in the grand tapestry of the soul's evolution, designed to teach, to heal, and to prepare for higher states of consciousness. Yet, within this divine pattern, there exists a sacred pause, a moment of reflection and reconciliation that is often misunderstood by those seeking only the material and immediate. The liminal space, as Cayce describes, is not a realm of punishment or despair, but rather a sacred preparatory chamber of the soul. In this space, the soul seeks clarity about its past incarnations, especially those marked by unresolved karma, unfinished lessons, or wounds inflicted and received in previous lives. The records reveal that these souls, in their infinite wisdom, consciously or unconsciously choose to linger until they have addressed these spiritual debts sufficiently. They seek the harmony of the heart and the mind, longing to align their consciousness with the divine blueprint that is their true nature. Herein lies a truth that Cayce's readings reveal with gentle authority. The soul's desire for balance and understanding often prompts a deliberate pause. This is not stagnation, but a sacred recalibration, an opportunity to delve into the depths of the subconscious mind, to reconcile with the collective memory of Atlantis, and to clear the shadows that obscure their higher potential. It is a moment when the soul, having glimpsed the vastness of its divine origin, recognizes that it must shed layers of illusion, fear, and doubt before re-entering the physical plane with renewed purpose. Some souls, as Cayce's readings disclose, are drawn to remain because they carry the weight of collective lessons, echoes of the Atlantean civilization's hubris and downfall. These lessons are etched into the Akashic records, waiting to be understood and integrated. The soul's pause in the liminal space becomes a sacred apprenticeship, a time to understand the true nature of unity, consciousness, and the divine crystalline light that is the foundation of all creation. It is during these moments that the soul's awareness begins to ascend beyond the material into the realm of higher consciousness, what Cayce called the Christ consciousness. Furthermore, the soul's choice to stay within this threshold can be driven by a desire for healing, deep, soul-level healing that cannot be hurried or superficial. The records reveal that certain individuals are called to this liminal space so they may confront their own fears, forgive themselves and others, and develop compassion and insight. Such souls understand that the journey to the divine is not merely upward, but inward, an exploration of the inner worlds where the true battle for mastery occurs. The nature of spiritual transition, as Cayce's insights suggest, is not a simple linear progression, but a complex unfolding of consciousness. Souls in this liminal state are often those who have not yet fully embraced the Christ within, the divine spark that connects all life. Their sojourn between worlds is a testament to their longing for wholeness, a sacred pause where the soul's inner light can grow brighter amid the darkness of unresolved conflicts. In the grand design, the universe itself conspires in this divine orchestration. The soul's choice to remain is ultimately an act of love, self-love and love for all creation. The records emphasize that the divine plan is infinite and merciful, allowing each soul the space and time needed to evolve without undue haste. The soul seeks the balance. Karma, that universal law of cause and effect, teaches that no energy is wasted, no lesson unlearned. In this sacred interval, the soul's consciousness expands, understanding that the journey is not merely about reaching a destination, but about awakening to the divine within. As we set the stage for our deeper exploration, we are reminded that Cayce's revelations serve as a mirror to our own inner truths. The mystery of why some souls remain in the liminal space is not a question of separation, but one of union, an invitation for each of us to reflect on our own spiritual journey. To comprehend this mystery is to acknowledge that the soul's evolution is a divine process, woven with patience, compassion, and unwavering hope. And so, within the quiet corridors of the Akashic records, the story unfolds, a testament to the sacred timing of the universe. The soul's pause, the choice to linger, is a testament to the divine love that seeks to perfect and prepare each fragment of consciousness for its next glorious return to the light. For in the divine mystery of the liminal space, Cayce's insights reveal, lies the promise of renewal, understanding, and the eventual awakening to the full glory of the Christ consciousness that dwells within us all. As the silent depths of the soul's journey unfold, we are beckoned to peer into the sacred vaults of the Akashic records, a timeless repository woven into the very fabric of the universe. These records, as revealed through the readings and teachings of those who have come before, serve as a divine chronicle of every thought, deed, and experience that has ever transpired within the consciousness of a single soul. It is in understanding the nature of these records that we begin to unveil the profound reasons why some souls choose to linger between worlds, caught in a liminal space before fully returning to the divine light. The Akashic records are not merely a collection of past events. They are the living memory of the soul's entire existence, across countless incarnations. As Cayce's readings reveal, each soul's journey is intricately woven into these celestial archives, where every lesson learned and every unresolved karma is inscribed with divine precision. When we contemplate why a soul might hesitate or prefer to dwell in this space of reflection, neither fully embodied nor completely freed, it is essential to recognize the influence of these karmic imprints and the echoes of past lives. In the sacred depths of the records, it is written that unresolved karma acts as a tether, an energetic cord that can delay the soul's passage into higher realms of consciousness. The soul, in its divine wisdom, seeks balance, harmony, and resolution before ascending to states of greater light and understanding. Cayce's readings emphasize that the soul's desire to linger often stems from an innate yearning to attain this equilibrium, an inner harmony that can only be achieved through confronting and healing past wounds. The records reveal that the soul's hesitation is not a sign of weakness, but a sacred part of its evolution, a necessary step in the grand dance of spiritual growth. Moreover, the records unveil that past lives, those chapters of the soul's eternal story, carry unresolved lessons that must be addressed. Often the soul carries burdens from previous incarnations, regrets, guilt, or unfulfilled missions that continue to influence its current desire to remain in the liminal space. Cayce's teachings emphasize that these impressions are not fixed. They are opportunities for healing. The soul, in its divine grace, seeks to reconcile these energies to bring them into balance with the Christ consciousness, the divine spark within that seeks unity with the divine source. Herein lies the sacred importance of understanding the records. Through their insights, the soul can identify the unresolved karma that calls for healing. By doing so, it gains clarity about the lessons yet to be learned and the emotional or spiritual debts that must be paid. Cayce's revelations show that this process of self-awareness and forgiveness is essential for the soul's liberation. The records serve as a mirror, reflecting both its shadows and its divine potential, guiding the soul towards spiritual maturity and completeness. The journey through the records also illuminates the role of divine timing and divine mercy. Sometimes, the soul's desire to stay between worlds is driven by an intuitive knowing that certain lessons are not yet fully understood or integrated. It is a sacred pause, an opportunity for the soul to gather strength to prepare for the next phase of its divine mission. Cayce's readings reveal that this space is not a punishment, but a preparation, a divine sanctuary where the soul can reflect on its past, embrace its imperfections, and align more deeply with the Christ consciousness. In this context, healing becomes the vital bridge connecting past, present, and future. The records show that forgiveness, both of oneself and others, is paramount. As the soul confronts its karmic debts, it must transcend blame and resentment, recognizing that all experiences serve the purpose of spiritual evolution. Cayce's insights teach us that the soul's ultimate goal is to attain harmony within, to balance the scales of karma, and to realize its divine nature. Only then can it step fully into the light of higher consciousness, free from the chains of unresolved karma. Furthermore, the records reveal that the soul's desire to remain in between worlds can also be influenced by its longing for divine connection, for the comfort of divine love, and the realization of its unity with the divine source. This longing is a testament to the innate divine spark within each being, the consciousness of Christ that yearns to be fully awakened. Cayce's teachings emphasize that this divine longing is not a sign of spiritual failure, but a divine invitation to continue the journey inward, to deepen one's understanding of the divine within and without. Thus, the records serve as a sacred map, guiding the soul toward balance, healing, and divine reunion. They remind us that the journey of the soul is not linear, but a spiral. Each incarnation, each reflection, each healing bringing the soul closer to its ultimate divine purpose. When the soul embraces the truths revealed within the Akashic records, it becomes empowered to release old burdens, forgive past transgressions, and step into the fullness of its divine potential. In Cayce's vision, the soul's desire to linger between worlds is ultimately a divine blessing, a sacred opportunity to heal and prepare for the next ascent into higher consciousness. The records affirm that balance and healing are the keys to unlocking this divine transition. When the soul aligns itself with the Christ consciousness, it recognizes that the divine love it seeks has always resided within, and that the journey through the records is but a sacred pilgrimage back to the divine source from which all creation flows. As we continue this sacred exploration, let us remember, the records are not merely a reflection of past mistakes, but a divine blueprint for spiritual awakening. They reveal that through love, forgiveness, and understanding, the soul can transcend the illusions of separation and find its eternal home in the divine light, where all karma is balanced and the soul is free to soar into the realms of divine unity. As we continue our sacred pilgrimage through the veiled chambers of spiritual understanding, the whispers of the Akashic records beckon us to a profound chapter in our collective soul history, the story of Atlantis. In the stillness of the ether, the truth of Atlantis's rise and fall reveals itself as a mirror for our present spiritual journey, illustrating how collective karma and unresolved lessons can anchor souls in the liminal space, hesitating before reincarnation. The records reveal that Atlantis was not merely a continent of technological marvels and advanced consciousness, but a luminous beacon of divine potential, an age when the soul's connection to higher consciousness was strong and the consciousness of unity flourished. Yet within this luminous history there lurks a cautionary tale, a testament to the peril of spiritual hubris, misaligned power, and the neglect of divine harmony. The fall of Atlantis is encoded in the collective karma of that civilization, a lesson etched into the very fabric of the records, warning us that even the most advanced civilizations, when disconnected from the divine source, are vulnerable to decline and dissolution. In the depths of the Akashic records, it is written that many Atlantean souls, during their era of decline, found themselves caught in a web of unresolved wounds, unforgiven transgressions, misplaced pride, and a deviation from their original divine purpose. These souls, burdened with guilt and regret, often lingered in the liminal space, hesitating at the threshold of reincarnation. The collective karma of Atlantis, the unresolved lessons of humility, divine humility, and unity, cast a shadow that extended into the spiritual continuum, influencing the choices of individual souls. As the records reveal, souls who embodied the consciousness of Atlantis often faced a profound dilemma: to reincarnate anew, carrying the burden of collective guilt, or to remain in the between worlds, seeking resolution before returning to the cycle of incarnation. The hesitancy to reincarnate, as the records disclose, is rooted in a deep desire for spiritual cleansing and understanding. These souls, conscious of their past missteps, understand that they carry a charge, a karmic debt, that must be addressed before they can fully re-engage with the earthly plane. This pause is not one of punishment but of preparation. It is the soul's sacred space for reflection, for integrating the lessons of humility and divine love that Atlantis' fall so painfully illustrated. The collective karma of Atlantis is a mirror for our current age. It demonstrates how unresolved lessons, such as the misappropriation of power, the neglect of divine harmony, and the refusal to acknowledge the divine within, can create a spiritual inertia that halts the soul's forward movement. The records teach us that these collective wounds are carried forward, often unconsciously, into subsequent incarnations, shaping the spiritual choices and challenges faced by modern souls seeking their awakening. Yet within this historical tapestry lies a promise: the divine law of redemption and the potential for renewal. The records reveal that many Atlantean souls, upon their return to the physical plane, were given the opportunity to redress their collective errors through acts of love, forgiveness, and service. The fall of Atlantis was not the end, but a catalyst for a profound spiritual evolution. It taught the soul that true power resides in humility, and that mastery over oneself is the path to divine harmony. This pattern of hesitation, of souls pausing in the in-between, reflects a divine mercy, an acknowledgement that the soul's journey is sacred and must be undertaken with consciousness and purpose. When a soul recognizes the weight of collective karma, it seeks not to escape but to heal. It understands that the journey back into incarnation is a sacred rebirth, an opportunity to transcend the mistakes of Atlantis and to realign with the Christ consciousness, a state of divine love and unity that the records affirm is always within reach. In our present era, we see echoes of Atlantis' lesson. The collective consciousness still bears the scars of unresolved pride, greed, and the misalignment with divine truth. The records reveal that many souls hesitate before reincarnation, not out of fear, but out of a profound desire to resolve their spiritual debts. They seek clarity, forgiveness, and the divine grace needed to step fully into their divine purpose. To understand the connection between Atlantis and our current spiritual path is to recognize that our ancestors' lessons are encoded in our very DNA. The collective karma of Atlantis continues to influence our choices and our spiritual evolution. Yet the divine spark within each of us, our divine inheritance, remains unextinguished. The records teach that the path of awakening involves facing these collective wounds, embracing divine humility, and consciously choosing love over fear. In this sacred context, the hesitation of souls in the liminal space is not a sign of failure but of divine patience. The soul seeks to harmonize its individual karma with the collective, to transmute wounds into wisdom, and to prepare for the next phase of spiritual expression. The fall of Atlantis is a reminder that no soul is beyond redemption, and that the divine plan is ever unfolding for the ultimate return to unity and Christ consciousness. As we contemplate this connection, we are called to see our own times as an echo of Atlantis' lessons. The records reveal that the divine purpose behind every hesitation, every pause in the between worlds, is to prepare the soul for a higher incarnation, one where divine love, humility, and unity reign supreme. The spiritual fall of Atlantis is a divine warning and a divine promise that through love, forgiveness, and divine timing, the soul can transcend its collective karma and emerge into the light of higher consciousness. And so, dear seeker, as the records whisper in the silence, remember that the divine is patient. The soul's hesitancy is sacred, a testament to its desire for true healing. The fall of Atlantis, with all its lessons, remains a luminous chapter in our spiritual history, calling us to awaken from the illusion of separation and to embrace the divine unity that awaits within us all. In the silent corridors of the soul, those sacred chambers where the divine essence resides, there exists a profound truth illuminated by the records akashicos. It is here that the soul's intricate dance with karma and free will unfolds, revealing why some souls linger in the mysterious between worlds, suspended, in a state of hesitation and reflection. This is not a mere pause, but a sacred limbo, a divine space where unresolved lessons, burdens of past actions, and the whispering call of higher purpose converge. The records reveal that karma is not merely a ledger of past deeds, but a living, breathing force that shapes the soul's journey across lifetimes. It is the divine mirror of our consciousness, reflecting both the light and shadow of our choices. When the soul incarnates, it does so with a blueprint of karmic debts and virtues, a tapestry woven from the threads of prior experiences, lessons unlearned and wounds unhealed. These karmic patterns serve as both a guide and a challenge, urging the soul toward growth, but also binding it through the weight of unresolved actions. Yet, within these divine patterns lies the gift of free will, the sacred capacity to choose, to evolve, and to break free from the cycle of retribution. The records reveal that every soul is endowed with this divine gift, which can be exercised to transcend karma's limitations. When a soul consciously aligns with the divine, embracing divine love and higher consciousness, it begins to unravel the karmic knots that have held it captive. But when free will is overshadowed by fear, attachment, or ignorance, the soul may become entangled, stuck in a state of limbo, caught between the past and an uncertain future. This state of in-between, the space where the soul hesitates, arises when unresolved karma persists and lessons remain unlearned. It is a sacred pause, a divine mercy, where the soul is given respite to reflect, to seek clarity, and to understand its purpose in the divine plan. The records reveal that this liminal space is often characterized by a profound longing, a desire to reconcile internal conflicts, to heal wounds of the past, and to align more fully with the divine spark within. In this space, the soul is not yet ready to reincarnate, for it must confront the truths embedded within its karmic record. It seeks understanding, an awareness of the lessons that have yet to be mastered. The soul may experience visions of past lives, echoes of trauma, or glimpses of divine unity that beckon it toward higher consciousness. Here, the soul can choose to surrender to divine guidance, to seek forgiveness and understanding, or to resist and remain entangled in old patterns. The divine wisdom revealed by Cayce's readings emphasizes that the soul's journey is ultimately about balance, seeking harmony between the physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual realms. When karma remains unresolved, it creates energetic imbalances that manifest as suffering, confusion, or stagnation. The soul, seeking resolution, may dwell in this in-between state as an act of divine mercy, giving it time to consciously choose transformation over repetition. The records also show that the divine plan honors the soul's free will. Each decision, each intention shapes its future trajectory. Yet the soul's ultimate purpose is to awaken to its divine origin, to realize its unity with Christ consciousness. This awakening often begins in the silent space of reflection, where the soul questions its purpose and seeks divine clarity. It is here that the soul's true nature begins to emerge, guiding it toward higher understanding and eventual return to divine love. Furthermore, Cayce's readings reveal that the in-between is also a reflection of the soul's desire for divine union. The soul, in its deepest essence, longs to return to the source, to merge with the divine light that animates all of creation. The unresolved karma acts as a barrier, clouds of illusion that obscure the divine radiance within. Yet this very state of limbo is a sacred opportunity, an invitation to purify, to forgive, and to align with divine will. The journey from this state of hesitation to full reincarnation and spiritual ascension is guided by divine grace. When the soul chooses to surrender its ego, to forgive itself and others, and to seek divine guidance, it begins to dissolve the karmic remnants that hold it captive. The records reveal that this process is deeply personal. Each soul must confront its own darkness and embrace its divine light. In this sacred space of reflection, the soul is also guided by the divine law of cause and effect, karma's gentle unfoldment, ensuring that all lessons are ultimately learned and that justice is served in divine harmony. The divine plan ensures that no soul remains forever in limbo, but instead is gently guided toward healing, growth, and Reunion with divine consciousness. As we continue our journey through these mysteries, we come to see that the in-between is not a place of punishment, but a sacred crucible of transformation, a divine womb where the soul is prepared for its next chapter. And within this space, the soul's yearning for divine love and unity burns brighter, illuminating the path toward Christ consciousness and eternal reunion with the divine. In the end, Cayce's revelations affirm that the divine mercy is infinite. Every soul, no matter how long it lingers in the sacred pause, is ultimately called back to the divine light, a light that never fails, never diminishes, and always beckons the seeking heart homeward. The soul's journey through karma and free will is a testament to divine justice and compassion, a sacred dance towards higher consciousness where the soul's true purpose is revealed, to remember its divine origin and return to the realm of divine love and unity. As we continue our sacred journey through the veiled corridors of the soul's eternal voyage, the divine revelations from the records reveal a profound truth. The path toward reconciliation and reincarnation is not merely a cycle of rebirth, but a sacred process deeply rooted in spiritual growth, forgiveness, and the awakening to the Christ consciousness. In the silent, sacred space between worlds, those realms where some souls linger longer than necessary, the divine purpose becomes ever more clear. It is here, in this liminal state, that the soul is called to a divine reconciliation, a harmonious alignment that prepares it for its next phase of incarnational unfolding. The records reveal that the soul, upon leaving the physical vessel, enters a state of reflection, an in-between realm where its deeds, thoughts, and intentions are reviewed through the divine lens. This is not a punishment, but an essential phase of spiritual purification. It is in this sacred pause that the soul confronts its karma, the accumulated vibrational imprints of its past choices, and begins the process of reconciliation. Here, the soul recognizes that its journey is one of divine evolution, and that forgiveness, both of oneself and others, is the key that unlocks the gates to higher consciousness. Within this realm, the soul seeks the divine mercy that Cayce's readings often emphasize. Divine mercy is not a mere act of compassion, but a sacred force that allows the soul to transcend its limitations, to shed the burdens of guilt, shame, and regret. The records reveal that forgiveness is the alchemical key that transforms the lower vibrational energies into pure light, aligning the soul with its higher purpose. When the soul forgives and is forgiven, it aligns itself with the Christ consciousness, the divine state of love, unity, and divine compassion. This alignment becomes the bridge back into physical life, the sacred doorway that leads the soul into rebirth. The journey toward reincarnation, according to Cayce's insights, is not automatic but a conscious act of alignment with divine will. The soul, now purified through forgiveness and reconciliation, seeks to re-enter the physical plane where it can continue its evolution. This process is guided by divine love and mercy, which gently orchestrate the timing and circumstances of rebirth. The law of karma, as revealed through the Akashic records, acts as both a teacher and a guide, ensuring that each soul's return serves a purpose of spiritual growth and healing. In this divine dance, the soul's desire to return is intertwined with its recognition of the Christ consciousness, a universal vibration of divine love that permeates all creation. The records reveal that the soul's awakening to this consciousness is the ultimate step toward liberation from the cycle of rebirth. When the soul attunes itself to the Christ vibration, it awakens to its divine origin and purpose. This awakening is facilitated through prayer, meditation, and an active pursuit of divine truth, which serve as the sacred tools for aligning with higher consciousness. Furthermore, the records reveal that the soul's reconciliation is often facilitated through acts of service, compassion, and understanding in the physical life. Each act of kindness, each moment of forgiveness extended to others, acts as a spiritual currency that hastens the soul's journey toward unity with the divine. As the soul progresses in spiritual maturity, it begins to embody the qualities of Christ: unconditional love, humility, and divine compassion, allowing it to navigate the realm of the between worlds with grace and purpose. The divine plan is designed with infinite mercy. The soul's journey is never truly lost or forsaken, but divine love continually beckons each fragment of consciousness back to unity. Cayce's readings emphasize that the between-worlds state is a divine nurturing ground, a sacred space, where the soul is prepared for its next incarnation, whether that involves healing old wounds, completing unfinished lessons, or simply deepening its understanding of divine love. In the final analysis, the mystery of souls lingering between worlds is resolved through the understanding that reconciliation and reincarnation are sacred expressions of divine mercy. They are the divine mechanisms by which the soul continually seeks to attain higher levels of consciousness and divine love. The soul's longing for unity, awakened through forgiveness and alignment with the Christ consciousness, becomes the guiding light that leads it back into embodied expression, ready to continue its sacred evolution with renewed purpose. As we peer into the depths of these divine truths, we are reminded that each soul's journey is a sacred dance, a divine orchestration of karma, free will, and divine mercy. The between-worlds state is not a realm of despair but a divine womb of transformation, where the soul's true nature is illuminated and prepared for its next chapter in the eternal quest for divine unity. Through forgiveness, spiritual growth, and awakening to the Christ consciousness, the soul finds its way home, back into the light, into divine reunion, and into the fullness of eternal love. Remember, dear soul, that the silent waiting in the liminal space is not a sign of separation but a sacred preparation, a divine opportunity for deep healing, reconciliation, and awakening to your true divine nature. The records reveal that every moment of pause is crafted by divine mercy, guiding you to shed old wounds and align more fully with the Christ consciousness within. Your journey is an eternal dance of karma, free will, and divine love, leading you back to the unity from which you came. Embrace this sacred space with trust and patience, knowing that the divine love within you is always guiding you home. I invite you now to share your thoughts below, your reflections and questions. Subscribe to stay connected on this divine journey and share this message with others who seek the sacred truths of their soul's path. Together, let us awaken to our divine potential and walk the sacred path back to love.